Hey, I'm back, and I apologize because it's been a while, and I'm sorry for that. I've been very, 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 very busy, of course, like I've always been. But, I wanted to just say that I auditioned for Little Shop of Horrors, 2 days ago. 3 days ago. 3 days ago I auditioned. I got a call back the day after. And then we had callbacks yesterday, which was yesterday, and we had the cast list up today, and I got Seymour for that. So I thought to celebrate, I would review Little Shop of Horrors, because not a lot of people know about it, really. So let me think. How am I going to start this? What it's about is, it's about a guy named Seymour Krelborn who lives on Skid Row in Skid Row, New York. And, he was adopted. Well, not necessarily adopted, but he was poor and homeless. And, the man named Mr. Mushnick, who owns a flower shop, adopted him and basically made him his son. And, it has, basically what happens is he's in the florist shop, and the florist shop isn't very successful. It's not really going very well. They're out of business, kind of, and things like that. Seymour is a very clumsy person. He's a kind of, not necessarily a nerd. You wouldn't. That's kind of the difference between Seymour and a Jerry Lewis character. It's he's very gentle, but he has a clumsy side to him. But he also, and he means well, and that's really all that he is. And so it's kind of hard to play him because he's you don't want to go too into the geek, but you want to show that he's pretty geeky. But yeah. Anyways, their business, they're kind of going out of business, and the people that work there are Mr. Mushnick, Seymour, and this woman named Audrey. And Seymour has a secret love interest in Audrey, and Audrey is a very, very, not gonna lie, ditzy girl. She, if you mixed Marilyn Monroe with Britney Spears or something like that, and put them together and shook them up in a jar, and they'd come out being very, that's kind of what it would be like, I guess. And you took out their brains. She's very ditzy. She dresses in very skimpy clothes. But she's a very battered and beaten woman because she dates these men to make money, basically. Not necessarily like prostitution, but she dates them because they're very successful, and they don't treat her right. So there's this man named Dr. Oren, and he is a dentist, and he's basically a big, scary guy. He's not big, but he's kind of like an Elvis-y looking guy, but he's very intimidating and scary, and he just absolutely loves pain. He absolutely loves it. He actually sings a song about it, about how when he was a kid, he used to love, bashing cats' heads in and shooting puppies with a BB gun and stuff like that. And so he's a dentist, and he makes them as painful as possible. And he's also very, very hooked on laughing gas. It's kind of his drug of choice, and he always uses it. But he basically beats Audrey. But so with the characters kind of out there now, what happens continuing on to the story, Seymour finds this plant. He finds a plant. It kind of looks like a mixture of a Venus flytrap and Godzilla. It starts out just being able to fit in the palm of his hand. It's in a jar, and he finds it, and it's very unusual. And he said that he found it because he was walking down the street and he was looking for new, weird, and exotic cuttings. And there was a total eclipse of the sun, and it got dark. And then when the light came back on, there was this strange plant sitting there. And he went and he picked it up, and he bought it for $1.95. But, continuing, he goes on and he thinks maybe that could help him in business. So he sits in the window, and people actually start coming in to see what the plant is, and they kind of go into business, and they're getting better and better. But so the catch is Seymour. His plant is dying. When he first gets it, it's not. He can't figure out a way to get it to grow. So he's sitting there. He's singing a song about how he can't get the plant to grow, and he cuts his finger on a rose and starts bleeding. The plant comes alive and starts wanting blood. So Seymour feeds it blood, and it grows. So he feeds this plant human blood. So over the course of time, the plant starts getting bigger. Pretty soon it gets to about the size of his head. Then it gets to about the size of his body. And then in the end it gets to about the size of like half of the stage. And it's huge. And he keeps having to feed it blood. And finally what happens is the plant starts talking and wants more and more blood. And he won't eat meat. It has to be blood. It has to be fresh. And it has to be human. So he's basically talking Seymour into trying to kill people so he could feed people to the plant. And so what happens is Seymour goes and he's trying to find people, and he never ends up killing anyone, but he's very gentle, and he doesn't really want to do that. But there's situations that make people get eaten. And so it's a very interesting story. I'm not going to explain anymore because I don't want to give away everything. But this is a great show. My dad did it. He played Seymour back in 1985, and so I've always wanted to be this part, and I'm really happy to be able to play it. I really recommend you guys check this out. It doesn't have to be you don't have to check out the play necessarily. There's a movie out. It's Little Shop of Horrors, a movie, and it stars Rick Moranis as Seymour. And it's kind of a classic, I think, but it's basically just a rock musical that pokes fun at musicals. It's very cheesy music, but it's so good at the same time. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and I'm really proud to be able to be in it. But it doesn't require a huge cast. Our cast is of 20, and that's adding people. You have to order a puppet plant that a person has to control, and there's a few of them from small to big. And then you have to have a voice of the plant backstage that sings. But it's very interesting. I really recommend you go see the movie. If there's a few things I want to tell you though, the movie is a bit different than the play. If you want to know how the play ends, look it up on something. Look up how the version of it ends. I like the play version a lot better, but the movie ending is completely different. But besides that, it's a great movie and great music. I really recommend you see the movie. And wish me luck. I'm really excited to be able to play this part. We start rehearsals on Monday. So I have a question for you guys. Let me think. What musical would you like to be in? That's it. So I'll see you guys next time.